And judging by their past behavior, that there's certainly something up and there's some agenda afoot. I do know that. Now,
well, I think Project Bluebeam is what's up. They're going to define another enemy for us, and they are going to generate and create it. It's just another illusion in their hat of tricks.
I believe that. I believe that, you know. And one thing that validates that for me is, you know, doing some biblical study into it. It does mention that in the end days you'll see plenty of false Christs, plenty of them. They're going to show up everywhere. And I don't know if that means it literally or figuratively, but I can tell you this: it's certainly not out of the realm of possibility, especially when the London Guardian's frickin' articles, aliens may destroy humanity to protect other civilizations, in a report to NASA. That's crazy.
Well, don't you find it interesting that report goes to NASA? Does it say when it went to NASA? Because, you know, I mean, don't you think it's kind of funny that how NASA and USGS and all of these space-related, weather-related programs are all of a sudden the data's not there or something's missing or they're changing it around. I mean, they spent how many millions of dollars on a telescope, used it for a year, and then took it down?
And you want to know where this is? You know where this?
When we have all of these alleged aliens and incoming comets, and they take it down, really?
And get this, this isn't coming from some two-bit outfit. The report was generated from Penn State. So you're not talking about, Joe Schmuckatelli just penning a report and submitting it to NASA. This is Penn State University. And, you know, and they play the highly speculative scenario is one of several described by scientists at NASA and Penn State University that, while considered unlikely, they say could play out where humans and alien life to make contact at some point in the future. Get real. I mean, seriously, man, this is crazy. This is crazy stuff. But you have to say, what? You know, why are they doing it?
People have been reporting contact with aliens for ever, for my whole entire life.
Exactly right.
Why? I mean, so what is the drama right now?
Yeah, why?
I mean, why? What's the new, the new cat in the bag?
Well, perhaps they're running out of cat in the bags. That's all, you know. And they're like, well, let's see, the economy, well, we trashed that. Can't use that as a threat anymore because that's trashed. Let's see, another war. No, that's getting old.
Another terrorist attack. No, those truthers are catching on that they're all false flags and they don't need to worry about that.
The weather's screwed up. Can't do that anymore. We already screwed that all to hell. So aliens. We haven't used that one in a long time. Let's bring that back. Yeah, all right. Woo, that's a good one. And that's the only thing I can. Now, I will say this. In other news, Hugo Chavez. Don't get me wrong, folks. I'm not a Hugo Chavez fan. But, boy, I'll tell you, this guy really does stick it to him sometimes, doesn't he? You know? And Hugo Chavez says to England, hand back my gold. And the headline is, this is from 21st Century Wire. And it says, today Venezuelan President Hugo Chavez has ordered his nation's central bank to repatriate 11 billion of gold reserves held in developed nations, institutions such as the Bank of England, as prices power through one record high after another, smashing through $1,800 per ounce today. When we come back, I want to talk about the importance of what Hugo Chavez did and what it means to us. You're listening to Freedom Link Radio. Stay tuned, folks. Don't go away. Welcome back, folks, to Freedom Link Radio. Joe Caldwell. Right before the break, I brought up an article about old Hugo Chavez, Pinky Camo, communist, and here we are. He wants his gold back. And I just think it's funny, when all of this talk about gold and everybody putting their money in gold has made gold surpass $1,800 an ounce. And
amazing.
You know what I think? Honestly, I think gold it could be kind of volatile because I think it's extremely oversold. I'll bet you that there isn't enough physical gold to cover all of the sales, all the paper that's out there.
Oh, I'm sure. I'm absolutely positive, and I'm sure he's getting the clue about that, and is exactly why he wants his physical gold, because he knows if he doesn't get it now, he'll never see it again.
But could you imagine, Gwen, if old Uncle Hugo over here actually starts something and maybe makes a run on physical gold? I mean, do you think it's possible?
Well, sure.
I mean, in the past, I've said this before, always make sure that if you do order gold or purchase gold, that you always get the physical stuff. And the same thing for silver and anything else. You always make sure that you have it in hand and physical. And all of a sudden, here's Hugo, $11 billion. Hey, come on, fork it over, England. Come on, I know you got it. It's okay.
Well, and he's in bed in China, so if they refuse to, turn it over, gee, that could get ugly.
That's right. A portion of the article says, "Revenge is nigh. Chavez may only be an expense account revolutionary, but his gold repatriation decision will have quick and strong anti-Chavez results. Apart from the UK gold stash, Venezuela parked even more tons in Switzerland, and a large amount in the USA too. The key term to describe the revenge action against Chavez is attachment risk. In arbitration case rulings able to freeze Venezuela's international assets, very, very surely cut its credit rating and raise interest rates on Venezuela's debt." So basically what they're saying is to look for Venezuela backlash, to be a freeze of his assets, to be a cut in the credit rating and an interest rate rise on the Venezuelan national debt. And it's funny because whether or not you agree with Chavez and his views or the way he's running his country, that is Venezuela gold. And at any time they can come calling for it, and you better damn well have it. And the same thing goes for your gold. I mean, if you're foolish enough to buy the paper stuff, but you should have it. If you have a certificate for it and you turn it in, you should have that gold. And for them to say, well, no, they'll freeze his assets, I'm sure what's coming next, Gwen, is that, Chavez is planning to build nuclear material and missiles and everything else, and we're all got to go and stop them. Oh, wait, that's after Syria. Oh, no, after Iran. Oh, yeah. What are we going to do? We're running. How are they going to stop all these foes, all these supposed alleged foes? I just don't get it.
It's crazy. And I think people clearly understand. I think it's a clear indicator that even people like Hugo Chavez knows that fiat currency is not stable. The markets are not stable. They're very volatile right now. And he's covering his country's best interest by having the physical gold. You can't blame the guy. Anybody in their right mind should be in line right behind him demanding their golds and turning in those gold certificates and getting the hard physical gold and silver.
Or if you had it in any bank. See, that's the thing, is even if you have it in the Bank of England, what the hell is the Bank of England at this point? Like Bank of America. They're going down in a fiery crash. It's going to happen.
Well, and not only that, with the Patriot Act, if you've got money in gold, anything that you have in the bank, they can come in without a warrant. They can take your safety deposit boxes and take whatever they want.
In California, in California, if you have a safety deposit box, they can just confiscate it and sell it because of the debt they're in. The debt situation out there. So you're right. How volatile is that?
Well, I think it's huge, and if people aren't paying attention, and if they're not taking every precaution to cover themselves, they'll probably find themselves in a huge mess. And I see Walmart CEO today came out and said, folks, things are looking bad. Prices are going to skyrocket. You need to get stocked up because it's going through the roof. So when Walmart comes out and says what we've been saying for how long, Joe, get prepared. It's coming down the pike.
That's right. Learn how to can your food. Learn how to go get that little deck of cards that tells you what's edible and what's not, what plants are edible, what's not. And most importantly, folks, understand this. When the CEO of Walmart does that, first of all, he's reacting to some numbers that came out, which said that year over year, or from July last year to July this year, food prices have increased 33%. I mean, he's not a rocket scientist. That's what the numbers are. And anybody that doesn't know that doesn't go to the grocery store and get their groceries, or doesn't go out. Because I'll tell you this, it's costing me a fortune to feed my family now. And it did before. I mean, I remember a time when I could spend $250 at Walmart, and that wasn't a long time ago. But I could go to Walmart, a super Walmart, or whatever the hell you call it, and $250 would feed my family for 2 weeks. Right. Now that doesn't even scratch the surface. It's crazy. How do people live?
The thing of it is that food is going to become scarce, and if you don't get it now, at least the basics, the basic rice, beans, flour, sugar, it's very possible that it's not even going to be available. And if anything, if there's any social breakdown in this country, the looting will have that stuff out of the stores within hours,
Yeah, sure.
And so even if you only have $10, go buy some rice and beans, go buy, an extra bag of flour or sugar, because again, it's the same thing. If you've got Federal Reserve notes in your wallet and there's no groceries at the store to buy, you have no hard asset. It's just
right.
like the gold. If you don't have the physical gold, you have no asset. You have a promise of an asset.
You were talking.
So make sure that you've got that asset, the hard assets.
Mm-hmm. You were talking about the food shortage and everything like that. I mean, look around, folks. Look at the crops. Here in North Carolina, they just started harvesting the corn early. They gave up on it. Normally it sits on there a little while. The drought was so doggone bad. I mean, you should see these sorry-ass corn crops. And they have to wonder, if it's this bad here, how is it out in the Midwest? They got hammered this year with a drought, on top of flooding, massive flooding. So not only did they have the flooding in the late spring, early summer, then they go and they have a massive drought. It's writing on the wall. Need I say more? This is extremely, extremely nasty, and it's not going to get any better.
They're having to sell their cattle and slaughter their cattle because there's no feed.
Right, there's no feed.
So we're going to have a problem with food. It's going to be an issue.
Yes, we will.